Welcome to episode 58 of the Time Talks podcast, part of the Channel Zero Network. In this episode, I had the pleasure of speaking to Chloë Cheyenne from Community X and Big Hit. Chloë spoke about police violence in her company Community X, and Big Hit spoke about being incarcerated and what he did to get released recently with the help of his son, the hip-hop producer Hit Boy. Thank you to Awareness for the music, and here's a brief jingle from a fellow Channel Zero Network member.
KiteLine is a weekly 30-minute radio program focusing on issues in the prison system. You'll hear news along with stories from prisoners and former prisoners as well as their loved ones. You'll learn what prison is, how it functions, and how it impacts all of us.
Behind the prison walls, a message is called a kite. Whispered words, a note passed hand to hand, a request submitted to the guards for medical care. Illicit or not, sending a kite means trusting that other people will bear it farther along until it reaches its destination. Here on KiteLine, we hope to share these words across the prison walls.
You can hear us on the Channel Zero Network and find out more at kitelineradio.noblogs.org.
So, Chloë, I was wondering if you could give a little on your background and your work in the tech world and how police violence has affected your life.
I live in LA now, but I'm from Chicago. I went to Howard for undergrad and graduated with a full-time offer to work for Google in Silicon Valley. So I went from the East Coast to the West Coast. I worked there for a little over 5 years and ended up leaving the company shortly after Mike Brown Jr. was murdered in Ferguson because I had tried to do something internally that involved rallying Google employees to take action and do more, and it didn't work out. So I ended up leaving and took on this mission to build Community X, and the inspiration behind this company is my father, because he is a survivor of an extreme case of police brutality that left him permanently handicapped with a bullet still lodged in his spine to this day. My dad was wrongfully targeted by Chicago police in a no-knock raid that turned out to be a case of mistaken identity. Police had the wrong address, but nearly killed my dad. And I spent the first 13 years of my life taking him to rehab, where he was learning how to walk again, eat on his own, and to trial, where he was fighting, facing 20-plus years in prison for something that didn't involve him at all. And so those, personal experiences paired with my experience in tech led me down this path.
I'm so sorry to hear about your father. I'm glad he was okay. That's a horrible situation. Didn't the police try to plant drugs in the house as well just because they knew that they messed up with the rape?
Yeah, so after they shot my dad, they searched the home, realized that they had the wrong address. Honestly, the person that was described on the warrant didn't even closely match my dad's physical appearance. And so, they realized that they had made a huge mistake, and they planted drugs in my grandmother's home, and they also physically assaulted my dad as he was bleeding to death in the hallway of his mom's home, and didn't call an ambulance.
That's so horrible. Well, thank you for sharing that story. And then, Big Hit, I was wondering how important is solidarity when you're in prison, like people reaching out to you and communication from the outside. Can you talk about that?
Oh, man, it's vital, because if you don't have that, then, they already so sweeping people up under the rug up in there, and they carry you different. If they know you don't have no support on the street, they can basically kill you. For real. It's bad enough, they don't care. Like right now, it's so corrupt, man. They don't care about even losing their job, man. They don't have no fear of losing their job and nothing. It's like they violate blatantly, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't have no system, no support system on the street, and it's going to be real rough. You know what I'm saying? They already, like I said, they gave me $1 million restitution, and despite that, put me on restriction like for years. I had been able to go to the store and shop and get no food for like at least the past 4 or 5 years, And so I had to pay people double, put money on their books, to try to go a little bit at a time and deal, with basically underground on the underground system, the drugs and shit like that, to try to liquidate it and try to get the food, because they man, even soap, and something as little as soap and toothpaste, it's vital, man, so you have a support system on the street, because if you don't, they're gonna run through you, man, and really nothing you can do, because all of them is with it. It's not like it's just a few corrupt ones. It's like they got an oath or something. They do have an oath, a private and a public oath, but that's dealing with the court system. But once you get inside, they got their own. It's like they a gang, man, and you either with it or you not. You look in or out. It's like they briefed already.
Yeah, there's that monopoly of violence, and that whole system just protects like COs and all the people inside.
Man,
it's good to hear that if you have support, you're more protected. So that's a good message if people can write to their loved ones and reach out to them and let people know that they're being seen there. I know I've sent a lot of books to my friend in prison, and he never receives them. I think they just go in the trash. So did you have any experience of that, like not receiving things people are saying?
Man, yeah, books, legal work, they do that. They delay it. You might get it a month, 2 months later, and they violate your privacy. They open it, they read it. Your pictures. I had a situation where pictures came up missing. The police actually stole my pictures, personal pictures, man. And when I filed on it a grievance, they just mysteriously ended up under my door without the envelope, in a total different envelope with no address, no stamps on it, nothing. Just slid up under my door like 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm trying to clean it up. Everything is. They got positions up there, so and then they try to deny like, oh, we don't control that. No, you do. The mailroom controls everything. You know what I'm saying? It's an officer already stationed there, so. Who was working on this such and such date? You can't just tell me anything. Yeah, that's basically, I was on their head, man, about any and everything. I don't let them get away with nothing, because they don't let us get away with nothing. Everything. They keep their foot on our neck. Just for real, man. Legal work, pictures, books, all of that.
Yeah, the mailroom is your lifeline to the outside, too. So, yeah, that's just even worse. So, thanks for sharing the stories.
Thank you.
Chloe, I was wondering how you push back against white supremacy and patriarchy and ageism in your line of work that you do.
So as an organization, we support a wide range of causes, everything from climate change to women's rights, education, but we also focus heavily on racial justice. And so when we look at different cases under that umbrella of racial justice, whether it's mass incarceration or police brutality, these are cases where at the heart of everything you're looking at some combination of capitalism and the post effects of slavery and racism. So, we helped, for instance, on the Tyree Nichols case. We worked with Attorney Crump and helped raise over $1 million for his parents, and worked with activists to host ground rallies, and we got thousands of signatures on his petition. Other cases as well relating to prison reform and mass incarceration. There's a case called Justice for Edgic right now that we're working on. So yeah, I think when we look at cases under that umbrella, it always goes back to white supremacy and the institutions that have been built to uphold that.
Thanks for sharing that. And then Big Hit, I was wondering, what are some ways, and Chloe, you could maybe answer this too, what are some ways that Community X and your son Hit Boy were able to get the word out and show support to help you get released?
Oh, man, well, me personally, I had purchased a phone, so I was fortunate, to buy a phone. You already know, corrupt police and whatsoever, they do what they do. I mean, it's all around the board, but I was, fortunate to tap in with my son and, and other people in NAACP and other people as far as like the witnesses and everything, getting affidavits from them and so they could file it and, get it notarized and lace them up, saying that, and assure them, that, they won't be in a situation just for telling the truth. Because a lot of people don't even want to deal with it. They get spooked, to a certain point that they don't want to help you. They don't care what the situation is. No amount of money or nothing. So yeah, I was just tapping in through Instagram and Facebook with certain people, and they was basically putting, like she did. She put a petition out, and I posted it on my Instagram and Facebook, and people tapped in. Even though it didn't go hard, but at least 200-300 people signed the petition before I even got my case overturned. Really not overturned, but they dismissed the GBI enhancements and my prior enhancements. So yeah, but if I'd have been writing it, it would have never made it.
Yeah, it never got out.
No, it would never got out.
Thanks for sharing that. And then Chloe, did you want to add on to that?
No, I mean, I think that's right. For us, we're a tech company. We build software. We build software, though, with injustice and impact specifically in mind. And so because we work at that juncture, part of our mission as a company is to not only build the software, but to help people use it and to sometimes even be on the ground and use it ourselves to help people. And so, that's when we got in touch with Mr. Hollis, that's what we started to do. But the level of self-motivation and perseverance that Mr. Hollis has is 100% why he is free from prison today. You talk to this man and he's essentially throughout the course of his life, because of his experience with mass incarceration and excessive sentencing, he sounds like a paralegal when you talk to him, because he understands the law that intimately, because he understands that his freedom depends on his own understanding of what the law is. And so, when you work with people like that, they become, the real driving force behind justice.
And Big Hit, I was wondering, what is some advice you can give to people who have family and friends who are incarcerated and ways to support them?
Oh, man, just don't get frustrated with them. I know people like, I used to call for money and call right back for money the next week, you know what I'm saying? But when we go to the store, the prices are so high that you can't get but a little. You can't get but a little bit of food for your money, for your dollars. And so you got to call back, you know what I'm saying? And the struggle is real. I mean, we only get it every 30 days. So don't get frustrated with them and try to, just provide for, because the money going to come back to you. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, yeah, that would be just the main thing, man, because people think you be in there just jacking off money, which I'm not saying it doesn't happen. True enough, people, got their others, they call home and they use their people, you know what I'm saying? They got to do is a drug addict in jail, you know what I'm saying? And never did drugs before until they got to jail because they trying to escape that pain. But, the majority of them just really trying to eat. And, and the people they deny their people, to something as little as $100, which is nothing, because off top they're going to take half. It's in my position, I had my $1 million restitution, and I couldn't even, so they taking over half. I got 3 separate restitutions, so they took more than half. Every 100, I only get like $25. On top of that, I couldn't even spend it because I'm on commissary restriction, I'm on packaging restriction, phone restriction, everything. Every restriction you can think of, I'm on it. Visiting restriction. I didn't have no visits. They took my visits. I had like 2 visits the whole time, that 8 years.
J-Pay takes a lot of money too when you try to call or donate. And
yeah, J-Pay, it's not, it ain't compared to what the prison system takes. That pays just a small fee. like $7 or something. But they try to, that's their thing. They put you on this restitution. You know, we're already paying with our life. They want to put all their money. They take all their money.
Chloe, I was wondering, what are some new projects that Community X is working on, and where can people find the organization?
All of the campaigns that are active on our platform right now can be found at communityx.com. Also on our mobile app, but super easy to just visit the website and scroll through. You can find families to donate to, campaigns, petitions to sign, events to attend. All that stuff is centralized on our site.
Okay, I'll link to that too.
Thank you.
And then, Big Hit, one of my other questions was, how important is the message of music in alerting people to injustices like the prison industrial complex and racism? I mean, artists like Hit Boy work with Nas, who's known for socially aware lyrics. Like, how important is music for getting people aware of situations and different ways to transfer information?
That's a great question.
Oh man, it's man vital, man. Like, you know, people that really know the struggle, they should expose it. You know, it's and sometimes I kind of like, I'm reluctant of telling, you know, my story. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so deep. I know, you know, people get punished for what they say. You know, now I just want to put myself in a position where I'm protected first before I do open up. You know what I'm saying? Or they do shut me down, because I know they'll blackball you quick. I'm not trying to get blackballed before I get in where I fit in. You know, I don't want to just get crossed out. So, but yeah, that's vital right there. You need to expose that truth. You know what I'm saying? But I know my avenue that I'm taking, I got to get my foot in the door first. You know what I'm saying? And then I can be more willing to open up to certain, you know, situations that happen, because these people is powerful, man, and they really can press the issue in certain ways to get you touched, man, or hurt. You know, because they don't really care about their jobs, man. It's bigger than that. Like I say all the time, it's laid like a gang, a legit gang. And they just not gang banging, no Crips and Bloods. They gang banging, you know, they school, they college, they secret cult, whatever they represent, and they take it serious, you know, and they loyal to each other, you know. So it's like with the courts, the lower court. You know, you got to go to the Court of Appeals, and then you go to the Supreme Court. So they all in. It's like going to the big brother, and then you got to go to the uncle. They all in it together.
Yeah, that was when they talk about the thin blue line and all that. That always falls in line and try to hide evidence and hold people down. And yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Can you talk about any new projects you're working on or new music?
Oh, yeah.
Is it true you went to the studio with your son, Hit Boy, when you were released?
Absolutely. I finished my album in 3 days. The first 3 days I was out, it was done. It was completed. I want to say 2 days, but it was like basically the third day it was already mixed and mastered and ready to go. And you know, we already dropped we just dropped something today, man. Me and my son are like, I can't say the first one, but you know, we did the Grinding My Whole Life Part 2. So that's on that's on YouTube right now, man. It's epic, man. You know, been getting calls from everywhere, from guys like Nas and Big Sean, man, and they showing support and love, and it's just amazing. You know what I'm saying? Just overnight celebrity, man. Like they giving it up. They like, man, this is powerful. It's bigger than just the music, man. It's the bond between me and my son. And he's flooded with beats and I'm flooded with songs. And that's all I did was just write. You know, and so it wasn't about just going up in there in the studio, sitting around trying to catch the vibe. I'm trying to get shit off my chest. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put it, I already got it. I got 10 albums ready. You know what I'm saying? I had to go in there and sit around and smoke weed and drink and think about something to talk about. You know, it's already ready to go. And he already got beats from years ago that people done passed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, I'll take any beat, anything. It don't matter. I go a cappella, but yeah, it's a beauty, man. My son is a genius, man. I'm a genius. I mean, it's in his DNA. So I see why he where he at, and other people are recognizing it too. Like, okay, now we really see what's up. It's a cakewalk, man. He make it so much easier. Like, it's my 6th day out. So I'm working on my 2nd album already. They already mixing mastering it. They can probably drop it on his birthday or something. So yeah, I'm working on the next one. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the chemistry that you two have. I was friends with Common's dad. He lived out in Denver, and they had a good relationship too. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Hopefully somebody that's way more powerful come through and with a hand that can press the issue on my court case. That's already, even though I'm out right now, I'm just not laying it down because they violated to the fullest beyond recognition. They just did the minimal, just thinking I was gonna shut up. Okay, get this nigga out of here, get him in jail. Get him out of jail. Maybe he'll shut up. But no, you only took my GVR off. You took my enhancements off. But the case in itself is still on my record, is live, even though I paid the dues for it. You know what I'm saying? I still got emotion that's in it that they've been ignoring. You know what I'm saying? And I heard they're going to try to mute it, and it's where they don't have to, they're going to say, okay, well, he's free now, it doesn't matter. No. The judge been biased, the conviction, I got proof with affidavits, with people admitting to the charge, and you still swept it up under the rug. I had no black jurors, a juror of my peers, which, somebody's entitled to. It's just, man, so, yeah, I'm still pushing.
Is there any links that I can put up in the show notes to help with the case or anything?
Absolutely. Chloe's she's gonna create something, and she can probably send it to you. Send you the link.
Okay.
Yeah. And, it's the freebighit.com website. So we've updated it with the new demands as Mr. Hollis continues again to fight for justice in his case. And then we're also going to be hosting a press conference where he's going to be speaking out on that same issue. So all of that will be on that site.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Time Talks podcast. Please check out the show notes for links on how to support Community X and Free Big Hit. Thanks to Awareness for the music, and please share this podcast around.